Hi, Paula. Hi, Amira. Hi, Kathy. Okay, if you didn't see the post, totally fine. There's on Facebook and Instagram these days. If you could have some kind of pillow or a blanket that you can fold up so that it's about the size of this, it's going to go under your hips when we sit and when we're lying down. So some kind of a pillow or a towel rolled up or a blanket. And I'll just wait if you want to go grab that. Okay. So we're going to start sitting up, and you can grab your pillow, a blanket, or a rolled up towel and sit on that so that your hips are propped up. And so if you can, sit cross-legged. You can sit another way if you would like. And so your knees are kind of tipping a little more towards the floor, and you can feel tall in your spine. So I want you to just kind of shake out your hands and your wrists a little bit. Just get maybe some tension out. Hi, Capri. And then I want you to take your shoulders up and down. So a few shoulder circles, getting a little bit of those wiggles out. And then just move your shoulders in internal and external rotation, and then place your hands on your lap. And so we're sitting on a pillow or a blanket or a towel, so our hips are propped up, and sitting up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders kind of up and back so you can get a nice tall posture, but don't so much that your chest is lifted and it feels like you can only breathe here. So I want you to keep your ribs, these ribs here, down so that you can bring your breath into your belly. So this morning's practice is going to be sitting, but actually mostly lying on the back and doing movement. So a little more of a calmer morning practice. And I hope that this is a nice way to start your day if you just started it, or a nice mid-morning movement break for you. If something doesn't feel good, as always, either skip it or try to modify it on your own. And if you can't quite find a good solution, then just try something else that you know feels really good for you. So we're going to start with the hands on your legs. And you can either soften your gaze towards the floor or close your eyes. And soften or relax the palms of your hands. And imagine that there is a string running from the base of your tailbone down into the center of the earth, grounded into something very secure and stable. In these unsettling times where we don't quite know what's going to happen or how long this is going to go on for, it's nice to imagine being tethered to something very stable. And then allow that line to run up your spine, and then reach up and imagine that the crown of your head is being slightly supported or pulled up by something very stable above you. And begin breathing through your nose unless you have a cold or it's hard to breathe through your nose. Then you can breathe through your mouth. And imagine your ribs, or bring your mind's eye to your ribs. Your ribs go all the way around your torso. And on your inhale, I want you to imagine, or if you can, use your inhale to expand your rib cage just a little bit open. And on exhale, your ribs come back together. Inhale, they expand just like a small expansion of an umbrella. And exhale, umbrella closes. Moving your breath to your lower ribs, not just to your chest, and not only to your belly, but 360 degrees around your torso. So don't force your inhale. You shouldn't feel lightheaded. You shouldn't feel like this is efforting. It should be very gentle breathing. Inhale expands the rib cage. And exhale, rib cage comes back to its shape. Now I want you to imagine a color that is calming to you. Could be any color. There's no wrong color. So have that color seated in your mind's eye. And on inhale, imagine you're breathing that color into your heart, or in through your heart. So the color envelops your heart. And on exhale, you just release tension if you have. And inhale the color in through your heart, and it kind of seeps out more into your organs that surround your heart. And exhale, release tension if you have. And the inhale, the color expands through your body, moves a little bit deeper down towards your hips, up towards your neck, towards your arms. Exhale, release tension if you have it. Inhale, the color expands through your body, moving to your limbs, towards your head. The color starts to make your whole body glow that color. And exhale, release tension. Inhale, color expands through your body, now reaching your fingertips, crown of head, tailbone, feet. Exhale, release tension. Inhale, see the color come through, seeping through your skin and glowing around your body. The color of calm. Exhale, release tension. Inhale the color of calm, right, radiating out of your body and now through the room. It's creating this sense that you can change your state by using your imagination and your breath. And then open your eyes if they are not already. Just imagine that your body is glowing that color of calm that you imagined. And then bring your chin down towards your chest and stretch a little bit in the back of your neck. Relax your shoulders and your jaw as you do this. Then leading with your chin, allow your chin to start to move up towards the ceiling and then open up your throat area. Relax your jaw. And then bring your head back to center. Take your left arm out to the side and just do a little bit of a reach and then look to the right. If it feels pretty extreme, you can bring your arm a little bit down and see if that changes it. If you want to add a little bit to it, you can reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And relax your arm and look back to center and take your other arm out to the side The hand should be lower than the shoulder, and then look to the other side. And if it's too much, you can reach your arm down or fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then bring your arm down and look back forward. Bring your hands right to your knees and around your back. Bring your chin towards your chest. Tuck your tailbone down and underneath towards your knees. And then use your inhale to open your chest and find a little bit of a back bend. Look up if it's comfortable in your neck. Your tailbone should be pointing back behind you. And then round on exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Bring your hands into your rib cage and inhale into your hands. And exhale all your breath out. Feel your ribs come together, and a little bit of your core will be helpful when you breathe all the air out. Inhale fully into your hands. And then exhale, twist to one side. And use your exhale to help you twist. So now your hands are not helping you twist really very much. You're just feeling your breath in your core. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist. And inhale back to center. Okay, so now you can take your pillow or your blanket and you can bring it to the top of your mat, and we're going to come on to the back. So it doesn't have to be under your head if you don't want a pillow under your head, but we're going to use it later under the hips, so just have it nearby. So you're going to roll onto your back and bend your knees with your feet on the floor, heels about underneath your knees. And then get comfortable. So if your shoulders are up by your ears, roll your shoulders down slightly. And just take your knees a little bit, like halfway to the left and halfway to the right. If you want to have your arms out to your sides, you can. Or your hands can be on your stomach, wherever you want. And spread your toes as you're doing this, waking up your feet and your toes. Just taking your knees left to right. Not all the way though, just halfway. So you're moving more from your pelvis and less from your low back. Now I want you to keep your hips down on the floor and take your knees left to right. Not all the way again. So if we take our legs all the way, you'll notice your butt will have to lift off the floor. But try to keep your both butt cheeks down and just keep your knees moving from side to side. And then take your knees out wide, like a butterfly shape, and then bring your knees together. Out wide, you can come onto the pinky edges of your feet, and then together. Everyone will look very different doing this, so don't worry about how wide your knees go. And together. Wide. And together, wide, and together. And now reach both feet off the floor and do a little bit of a shake with your legs. So it doesn't matter how it looks. I want you to just get some shakes out, wake up your legs, let your feet go floppy, then reach your arms up and shake that out too. It can look silly, it can look fast, it can look slow. And then bring your feet back down onto the ground. Lift one foot off the floor and start to move your from your hip in circles. So you're not letting your pelvis move very much. You're just moving the ball in the socket of your hip. And switch directions. This will require a little bit of core stability so that your back doesn't have to be moving or changing shape. And then switch directions, lift your other foot off the floor and do some circles with that leg. And all the while we're doing this, just trying to have nice, steady, even breath. Being present with your body. Notice if you're change directions with your legs. Notice if your mind takes you on a trip as to what you're going to do today, how you're going to do it. And see if you can just stay with the sensation in your body. It's just going to be a half-hour class, so if you can just stay present, it's a really great practice. And then place your foot on the floor. Take your arms up, clasp your fingertip, or clasp your hands, and then reach your palms up towards the ceiling. Stretch your hands up towards the ceiling so your shoulder blades spread apart, and then bring your shoulder blades to the ground. Spread apart and back to the ground. And now move with your breath. It doesn't matter if you want to inhale or exhale. Just try to sync your movements up with your breath. And now keep holding your shoulder blades apart and stretch your pinkies towards your face and your thumbs up towards the ceiling. So you'll get a pretty good stretch there. If that feels too extreme, of course, dial it down. And then take your arms just a little bit over to the right and your knees just a little bit over to the left and hold. And come back to center. Exhale, move knees to halfway to the one side and arms to the other. Inhale to center, exhale, switch. So you're holding a twist, using your core. Inhale to center, exhale, twist. And then take your arms out to the side and turn your palms up. And take your feet together and your knees out wide and take a moment to reconnect with your breath. Relax your fingers and your wrists. Bring your knees back to center and bring your hands onto your pelvis. Rock your pelvis forward and back so you feel your low back lift off the floor and your low back come down onto the ground. Moving with your breath, rocking one way on inhale and the other way on exhale. And then if you can, lift both of your feet off the floor. Actually, bring your feet back down and find neutral. So there should be a little bit of a space between your low back and the floor. You're not gluing your back to the floor. A little bit of a neutral spine. And then see if you can hold that and lift one foot off the floor and the other foot off the floor. This is for you, Paula. Paula is an amazing Pilates teacher if you don't already know you guys. In Morden. Then reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Pull your toes towards your knees. Turn your palms to face each other and make fists with your hands. Squeeze your hands a little bit. Then exhale, extend your left leg forward and try to keep your neutral spine. Inhale back to center. If your back went into a massive back bend, bring your low back to the floor and try to stabilize a little more. Exhale, extend the other leg out. So really slow, controlled movements. Inhale back to center. Exhale, extend. Waking up your core, those muscles that hold you upright. Inhale back to center. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back to center. Now, if you want to add your arm, you can add the opposite arm to the leg that you're extending, but the priority will be to keep your spine very still. Exhale, opposite arm and leg. Inhale, back to center. Pull your toes towards your knees. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back to center. Let's do two more aside. The exhale is really helpful because your ribs get to come together, that low belly, those deep core muscles get to turn on and engage, and the exhale is helpful with that. Once you're done, bring your hands onto your knees and hug your knees in towards your chest. You can give yourself a nice big hug. You could take your knees wider if it feels better in your hips. And then breathe your rib cage into your legs. So inhale, you should feel your ribs press against your legs and expand. And exhale, you could maybe pull your knees in a little tighter to help you exhale. Okay, then take your legs and reach them out long in front of you and let your legs flop out to the side. Reach your arms out by your side and take your arms up overhead and then down by your side. So you're doing snow angels. Inhale overhead, exhale down by your side. Inhale overhead, exhale down. And then reach your arms up towards the ceiling and rotate your thumbs in the backs of your hands together, and then rotate so your pinkies are now in and the backs of your hands together, but in the other way. So just rotating as much as you can from the shoulders. And then as you're rotating from your shoulders internally and externally, bring your arms out by your side and then slowly up, back up towards the ceiling. And change the angle a little bit. So getting a little bit of blood flow into the shoulders, moving the arms in as many ways as we can, kind of like a little multivitamin movement class. Arms down by your side. And then back up to center. So it should feel just like a little bit of heat, a little bit more blood flow coming into the shoulders. And then change the angle one more time and go back up towards the ceiling. And then down. I want you to take that pillow or that rolled up blanket or towel and bring it underneath your hips. So it should just feel like a very small support. It's not like a block if you've been in a yoga class. And mostly on your hips, not so much on your back. So my pillow is kind of big, so I'm going to move it down so it's more towards my heels and my butt supported. And then bring your legs up towards the ceiling, and then move your blanket or your pillow so it feels supportive to you. So your hips are kind of angled up on a ramp. And your legs are up towards the ceiling, and you can do whatever you want with your hands. Now just point and flex at your ankles. And just small, slow movements, feeling a little bit of movement at your ankles and your toes. See what it's like to spread your toes and then squeeze your toes together. A lot of people are doing a little more walking now that the gyms and the studios are closed, so your feet might need a little bit more love. And then from your ankles, start to make circles. You might have to go a little wider with your feet so they don't hit each other. And keep moving and maybe switch directions with your ankles. And then bend one knee, bend the other. Looks like you're just walking on the ceiling. So like I said, that pillow or blanket is there just to prop your hips up so that this feels a little easier. If there was nothing under your hips, for most people, it would feel maybe a little bit challenging to hold the legs up straight. And then go a little bit wider with your legs and externally rotate from your hips. So your knees will now be pointed kind of more out to the side and the toes out to the side, like you're making a V with the angle of your feet. And then from your hips, rotate so your toes now point to each other and your heels are out to the side. Internally rotated. Externally rotate. Just like we were doing with our shoulders, now we're doing it at our hips. So walking is awesome, but it doesn't give us a lot of variety in the rotation at our hips. We don't get a lot of internal or external rotation. So we need to get that. And this is a nice way to do it. It's a little more of like an active stretch because you aren't pulling your leg into it. You are using the muscles of your hips and your legs to put yourself into this shape. And go a little bit wider. And move internally and externally, rotating again from your hips. If that's really challenging, go a little narrower than where you were. And now bring the soles of your feet together like that butterfly shape and grab your ankles with your hands. So your knees are wide, soles of feet towards each other, heels towards your butt. And take a few just intentional breaths. It doesn't have to be big breaths, just intentional. Feeling your ribs expand on inhale, and on exhale, ribs come back together naturally. Now grab the outsides of your, actually grab your hamstrings, so behind your legs, right where your knees and your upper legs meet. And see what it's like to go vertical with your shins, but keep your knees nice and close towards you. Pull your toes towards your knees, and then relax your feet now towards your hips. Coming back into that stretch, it feels like a bit of a squat, and then heels towards your hips. And then bring your feet back onto the floor. Extend one leg and the other. This will be a little bit of it might feel like a back bend to some of you. It might feel really good to some of you to get your hips open even more. And if this hurts your low back, just take the pillow out. Bring your hands onto your low belly. And let your feet relax. So either move the pillow out or keep the pillow there if you like it. And breath into your low belly. You could move the pillow under your head if you would like. And then take your arms out by your side and turn your palms to face up. And roll your shoulders a little bit underneath you to create a pillow for your chest. Looks like a little support for your chest. Let your legs swap out to the side, turn your palms up, relax your hands, relax your feet. Close your eyes if you are comfortable doing that, or just look up at the ceiling. And bring back to mind that color of calm for you. On inhale, imagine that you can breathe that color in through your heart. Exhale, relax your tension if you have it. Inhale, the color expands from your heart out into your lungs. Exhale, relax. Inhale, the color moves deeper into your body, towards your neck, your pelvis, your armpits. Exhale, relax. Inhale, the color expands to your limbs, to your brain. Exhale, relax. Inhale, the color expands all the way to your extremities, toes, fingers, top of head. Exhale, relax. Inhale, the color expands and seeps out of your skin. Your body is glowing with that color of calm. Exhale, relax. Inhale, the color seeps out into your room. Your room is glowing with a calm color. And exhale, relax. Keep breathing like that, imagining the color expanding out from you. Exhale, relaxing. We're going to stay here for another minute. And if that's a helpful meditation for you, continue to imagine the color. You can also just lie there and rest. This is a poem by young Pablo. It is okay to not have the answer. One of the bravest things you can do is boldly embrace the unknown. Accept your fear and still continue to move forward. A clear mission does not always have a clear path. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to move your fingers and your toes, bringing a little bit of life back into your body. You can open your eyes and look up at your ceiling. Reach your arms overhead, stretch your legs forward, and take a big, long stretch. Bend your knees one at a time and slowly roll off onto one side with your head on your arm and your body in a bit of a fetal position. And take a couple breaths there. Try to stay present with your breath. Bring your one hand to the floor and keeping your head heavy, slowly sit yourself up. You can sit back onto your pillow if you'd like, or your towel. And bring your hands onto your knees and sit up tall, imagining that anchor again down into the center of the earth, something very solid to something very solid in the earth. And then reach up through the crown of your head like you're anchored onto something very secure. Bring your hands together at the center of your chest, feeling your hands touch. A gesture of gratitude for your body, for your ability to imagine calm, and for your body's ability to do the movement that it has today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Namaste.